is currently touring Western Kenya, and he is right now in Bungoma, and that's where my colleague Duncan Haimba is going to be joining me from. Duncan, thank you very much for joining us here on Worldview. So let's talk about that ruling, really seemingly a win for the opposition. Has that ruling sort of like changed the mood of the campaign and the messaging of the NASA principles to their supporters?
Yes, Betty, indeed, it is, in one way, it has actually sort of given the two principles impetus, I beg your pardon. We were in Sirisia constituency, and immediately at around 1:30 thereabout, that is when Wetangula walked to the podium to pass the message to Raila Odinga, who had actually that it has upheld the ruling that had been made by the High Court that presidential results, as announced at the constituency level, will be final, and therefore they told their supporters that that is good news for them. Of course, continuing with their slogan, 10 million plus, or rather 10 million strong, telling their supporters that now the onus is on them to come out in large numbers, because whatever will be reflected at a constituency level and by and large at the village level in wards is what will be final. So Raila has urged the supporters in Sirisia as well as Chwele to ensure that they turn out in large numbers on 8th of August, because they are saying that is when the NASA revolution, which they are calling Unga revolution, will be taking place. So far we've had the reaction from the two principals, that is Moses Wetangula and Raila Odinga, who are leading the Team B NASA campaign trail that began in Cheptais, then went to Sirisia, Chwele, and as we speak, they are conducting another rally in Bumula constituency before they finally come here at the historic poster grounds in Bungoma town. This is where the final rally will be. The Team A is actually the other side. They began in a place called Brigadier, went to Tongareni, went to Kimilili as we speak. They are doing their the fifth stop in Webuye town. That is the team that is under NASA running mate Kalonzo Musyoka and Musalia Mudavadi, I beg your pardon. So Kalonzo and Mudavadi are in Team A currently in Webuye after conducting a series of rallies in Kimilili, Tongareni and Brigadier, whereas Raila Odinga and Wetangula are in Team B that did campaigns in Cheptai, Sirisia, Chwele, and now in Bumula. So they will be congregating here at poster grounds. That is where we will be expecting now to get the reaction of all the five principles, and perhaps what message or what declaration they'll be putting out to their supporters once they congregate here. And perhaps we'll try and see whether there will be any pleasantries to the team, because they were banking on that court of appeal. Already NASA had pronounced themselves. They had said that in the event the Court of Appeal overturned the ruling that had been made by the High Court, then they would be moving to the Supreme Court. But the fact that that decision has been upheld, so we will be waiting to see what kind of reaction will be going out from the four principles. Isaac Ruto, NASA's number 5, is missing in action, as you've said, because he has some other issues that he is handling down in the rift in Bomet County. Betty.
I want us to talk about the political intrigues of that region. But before then, as much as NASA has won with this ruling earlier on, there's also another thing that was happening, and that was the High Court declining to stop the printing of ballot papers, which was set to begin to...
Remember, immediately the judiciary gave what they said, a clarification on what the Chief Justice meant. Of course, the fact that August 8th is anchored in the Constitution, that on every second Tuesday after every 5 years, the Kenyan Republic will be going to poll. So the Chief Justice, in a way, was just saying, come what may, there's no way the judiciary can think of postponing the election date for them, because I think for the judges that handled the matter, in a way they've decided, I think in my own interpretation, I'm not a lawyer or a politician, but I think they've decided to steer away from controversy and push it to the Supreme Court. Remember that the Supreme Court is the final, has the final word in as far as legal matters are concerned. So maybe in their wisdom, the judiciary perhaps, maybe they knew whichever way the cookie will crumble, there will be another party that will be moving to the Supreme Court to get the final, I think, redress. So I think they've looked at, remember we are 45 days, Betty, to the ballot. So maybe the Court of Appeal decided that instead of adjudicating or giving a verdict, then again create room for parties that will feel that maybe the decision was not in their favor, move to the Supreme Court. I think the judiciary, in their wisdom, they've sort of decided to toss the coin of fast-track the process and throw it to the Supreme Court so that that matter is dispensed with within the shortest time period, because we are only 45 days to the ballot. So it still remains wait and see situation on what exactly will be the implication of whatever would have happened. So for now, you can't say that it's a blow for NASA, but I think the judiciary has decided just to move it to the final desk, that is the Supreme Court, so that to avoid any ruling that would have seen that particular outcome contested at the Supreme Court. So that is what we'll be waiting to see. We are yet to know when the Supreme Court, the full judge bench, the 7-member bench of the Supreme Court will be sitting to deal with the matter. But your guess is as good as mine. It must happen within a very short period, because failure to do that, clearly it will be putting a lot of obstacles to the election process, Betty.
All right, finally, Duncan, before I let you go, let's talk about the political weight of Western region. Is NASA still riding on this, and especially considering that Jubilee has been making quite a number of visits to that region? How has that affected the solid votes of that region?
From what happened yesterday in Trans Nzoia County and today, the principals have sort of changed the narrative. What they are telling residents here, what we've gathered on their campaign trail, they are telling them that they own the largest stake in the NASA government if they will form after August 8th. So they are not even trying, they are just telling them, like what Wetangula has tried to explain while in Sirisi and Chwele, he's telling them that we are 5 in NASA and we are going to share our cake equally. Now, in the 5 distribution of power that we'll have as a coalition government, my share, if you combine plus Musalia Mudavadi, as the Luya bloc, we will have a major say in this particular administration. So they are telling the rest that whereas those in Jubilee already have the deputy president and the president consolidating power, them they are saying that they will have a say. So they are trying to, that is the narrative that they are trying to tell their supporters, that this is their own government, because they are looking at the share that the power that Wetangula wields, then Mudavadi, compared to what the other will do. So that is the narrative, Betty, that they are trying to put across.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Duncan Haimba. They're reporting from Bungoma, where NASA is on a campaign tour.